Hello and welcome back to Go Again Gaming. My name is Az and welcome back to another episode of Tabletop Hype. This is a series all about board games, whether that's in the sense of an upcoming Kickstarter campaign or maybe even playthroughs of my favourite games here on the channel. So today we're going to be looking at a new Kickstarter campaign which has 25 days left as of recording of this video. It probably will come out today, so 25 days left, I'm going to say that now. And this is a game called Soul Raiders. So Soul Raiders is a action-packed cooperative game for 1 to 4 players designed by Mark Andre, where you play or become a powerful warrior mage, which sounds definitely up my street. I'm a massive fan of the Mage Knight board games, and it does sound similar to that, so we will see. So yeah, Soul Raiders, 25 days left to go. It's already hit its goal of £42,000. It's 125,000 at the moment with 1,620 backers. I'm sure that's going to increase as time goes on. But yeah, this is Soul Raiders, funded in 5 hours. So pretty good. Must have a lot of hype surrounding it, hence the Tabletop Hype series name. So yeah, Soul Raider. Such a simple name for everything you will become, the adventures you will have, the fights you will lead, all the magical power you will wield. Your order has sworn to protect this world from its countless enemies, and you will make sure that they remember this name too. So Soul Raiders is a game for 1 to 4 players, 30 hours plus for the main storyline or the main quest, and you've got a 2 to 4 hour gaming session per game. So yeah, it's quite an intensive, heavy game. By the looks of it, it's going to need some immersion from yourself and the people that you're playing it with. So yeah, definitely set that expectation if you want to start playing this game. It's going to be very heavy, very immersive. But that's always good, you know. A lot of people play D&D, and that's very immersive. So this is just another one of those sort of adventures in a box. So yeah, that's Soul Raiders. Nice little overview. So it's a cooperative, action-packed and story-driven game created by best-selling author Mark Andre, who is responsible for Splendor, and a team of talented artists such as people that have done Magic the Gathering and Die Architectart. Don't know what that is, but Magic the Gathering, a massive name. Magali Villanueve, don't know how you pronounce that. But yeah, you got some good, talented artists coming through on this campaign as well. And as you can sort of see that on this little picture spoiler thing here, you can see that the boards and the illustrations are looking absolutely awesome, as well as the thing on the actual cover art itself. Looks very, very fantastical, very high fantasy, which is good. So Soul Raiders brings to the table an immersive setting, 3 chapters of a story that can be played over and over again, offering different challenges every time. So this is going to be very much a story campaign-driven game, but the fact that you can play it over and over again with different outcomes is definitely good. For a game of this stature to have replayability is very important, especially when you're kicking it. I was going to say you're kicking it and back-starting it then, but it's kick-starting it and backing it. So yeah, 120 oversized double-sided location sheets and 800 plus cards with amazing art and high-quality components. So that's what you need when you're playing. You're paying for a Kickstarter, and that's what you can come to expect from Kickstarters. That their production value is going to be pretty decent. So it's a fast-paced and action-packed game flow where powerful heroes take on hordes of enemies and perilous threats. That sounds fun. And it's an innovative design to manage the game's reaction, change to the locations and enemies' behaviours, constantly renewing the situations the players will face. So that's cool. Then we have the current stretch goals, which it's not actually showing. The current stretch goals aren't actually showing on the screen, which is strange. So let's go past that for now. So it says, why kickstart this game? So it's an epic game containing hundreds of illustrations, cards, tokens, and Mark Andre and One For All are committed to the best production value that a publisher could dream of. So this is the reason why you back Kickstarter campaigns for this little statement below. The development cost of an ambitious project like this is very, very high and cannot fit into the business model of a classic distribution system via retail stores. The final price will be too high for everybody. That includes a publisher, distributors, retailers, and of course the players. So consequently, Soul Raiders will only be a Kickstarter campaign. It will never be in the shelves of a retail store. So that is a reason why these games on Kickstarter, they are people's dreams. People want to make these massive, immersive, component-full, story-driven games that are just huge and epic and sprawling in nature, and it's hard to sort of achieve that through a normal distribution model. So Kickstarter is why, it's the reason why massive tabletop hype style board games do only go through this platform, because it's hard to get out to a real distributor using a normal model. So I don't blame them for doing this. This is why these Kickstarter campaigns are so ambitious, and why they hit their targets pretty much every time, is because they know what their dream is and their goal is from the very beginning, and people realise that. People want to buy into that straight away. So it's a great model for those epic, sprawling games, in my opinion. So Kickstarting this campaign is therefore the only current way to get a copy of the game, and if the project is successful, we might have extra copies for small-scale direct sales like conventions, but we cannot guarantee anything at this point. It goes directly from us, the publisher, to you, the players. This is why I've been looking forward to this crowdfunding campaign and can't wait for you to be a part of this adventure. So yeah, again, very business to consumer. It's going straight to you. It's not going to any other distribution models. It's not going to your Amazons and your local game stores. It's going straight from One for All to you. So if you like the sound of this, then definitely back it. So yeah, let's carry on going down there. So look at these nice little highlights picture here. You got a couple of snapshots as to what you can come to expect from the game. Loads of cards, loads of location cards, tokens, all sorts of good stuff, boards, character cards. So yeah, let's have a look at the the mechanics and what you can come to expect from the game itself. So number one is gameplay based fiction. So Soul Raiders gameplay drives the story, as the combination of game reactions and random components shape a different player experience every time you sit down to the table. So that's cool. And you've got a little animation there of what you can do there. So obviously you can pick the lock on the gate, and then if you pick the lock on the gate, you flip it round to the other side. So it looks like on this animation, you're using 5 sort of dexterity points there to flip over the card so you can get to the next area, which is quite cool. So that's quite good. Nice little animation. So the iconography is a storytelling system in itself. So generated game effects can be interpreted in many different ways and with a unique story around the player's actions. And players need to adapt to the possibilities of the cards in their hand. In a given situation, they will always make different choices, overcoming the game's challenges with a variety of approaches. So yeah, depending on what cards you have in your hand and what skills you have and what heroes you've got and what abilities they have, you will obviously tackle different situations different ways, obviously resulting in different outcomes. So that's good. And you've got the 40 locations in a chapter can be explored in a non-linear way, forming a multitude of paths and combinations to explore every single time. So that is, again, fantastic in a game like this. If you're going to have a campaign story-driven game, you need to be able to have the replayability factor, in the sense that you can still sort of aim towards the same story-driven narrative, but going there and achieving it a different way, which is very paramount in games like this, that's for sure. So an action-packed and intuitive game system. So Soul Raiders provides many options for the players with a streamlined game flow. So that's cool. There is no player turn in Soul Raiders. During the Heroes phase, each player can act independently from one another and simultaneously. This eliminates downtime between actions and enhances the fast progression of our heroic party. So that's great. And what sort of bogs down games? One of my favourite games is a game called Mage Knight, and what bogs down Mage Knight is the absolute downtime between each individual's turns, because it is essentially a solo experience, but you have multiple players playing. So stuff that you do on your turn doesn't really impact someone else's turn. It's similar to Fallout, the board game. It's basically an experience that you're going through on your own, but other players can do the same thing, just taking different paths. It's not like that in this game. So you take your turn as a team, which is great, because it influences what decisions you make and what cards you play and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's a very, very good intuitive system, so that's decent. So 4 cards, many possibilities. Every action in Soul Raiders is resolved using a handful of cards in your hand. Mastering their optimization is key to victory. So yeah, 4 cards, many possibilities. So yeah, we're not bogging down the game with loads and loads and loads of different card types. You simply have to just work with the cards in your hand. So from this animation here, it looks like we've got a sort of power and dexterity coming together to achieve or destroy an enemy. So again, I don't know the rules of this or anything yet, but it looks like there's 4 card types and they can be combined to achieve certain results, which is quite good. You don't want too many stuff and too many sort of rules bogging you down if you are playing in the narrative game. So yeah, you've got cooperative tension here. So above all, Soul Raiders is a tense, cooperative game as players face overwhelming odds and multiple threats that are pitted against them, one for all and all for one. So the hero's health points, called vitae or vitae, are a common pool of life. So when one hero takes damage, the whole team will face the consequences. So again, this is a fantastic mechanic for encouraging teamwork play. So you don't have to sort of, you know, if you've got a tank in your party who's got loads and loads of HP, you can put all the damage on them, you know, and other players can not suffer the consequences. But this, you do have to really discuss as a team, you know, should we take some damage here? Should we allow ourselves to take some damage? Or do we try and stop that through our armor or through abilities or cards that we have? What can we spare? You know, and that is a constant conversation in this game because your life pool is shared between all players. So again, I think that's a very, very good mechanic to have. So you've also got threat and exhaustion increase throughout the entire game. So I imagine this is like a bit of a sort of time frame or timer on the game. So that there is no way back. The resulting pressure makes every choice even more crucial and dramatic as the game goes on. So I like that because in other games, you don't have a time limit. You can just sort of meander around the map and just, you know, level up and grind it out until you win the game. A lot of games will have timers, but I think this is a cool way of doing it. You know, threat and exhaustion will increase, you know, the longer you play, so that it's going to become harder and harder to do certain things. So it does sort of railroad you into progressing the game, not just meandering about. And that's something I do a lot on the sort of Mage Knight games, is just meander around and not really get anywhere, and then end up having to just lose as a result of just not doing enough stuff and not sort of taking action. But yeah, this sort of system will encourage you to take action, which is good. So that's cool. So it's a nice little thematic flavour for a timer on the game. Number 4 is a truly epic game. So Soul Raiders aims to immerse you in an epic journey in a variety of ways. So you got a couple of snapshots there as to the 3 chapters of the game, and obviously the different cards there, as you can see, the different aesthetics going through each part of the game. So it just looks quality, it really, really does. Lots of variety. Looks awesome. So yeah, larger than life heroes. So Soul Raiders can demolish waves of enemies with a single flick of their finger, and as the game progresses, they gain access to even more heroic actions and powerful items for an explosive finale. So you're going to be controlling some truly powerful characters in this game. So you've got diversity and depth of the story. So Soul Raiders is organised like a book, divided into 3 chapters linked for an overarching narrative. Each of them is a whole setting in itself, populated by dozens of characters and places with many secrets to uncover. So yeah, it is, you know, sort of split into 3 chapters, but each sort of area, each sort of chapter is going to be rich with lots of things you can explore, lots of things you can do, and lots of things and different ways to progress the story, which is nice. And obviously the production value, again, this is linked to the fact that it's only through Kickstarter, is going to be massive because it's not going for a regular distribution model, and that is the fact that Soul Raiders feature Wall's incredible artists. Their amazing art is showcased on oversized location cards and hundreds of cards sitting neatly in their luxurious magnetized grimoire box. So yeah, there's 2 options, I think, of the pledge. You can pledge for the standard edition, which is €70 or more, and that's the physical copy of Soul Raiders plus any corresponding stretch goals, and that comes in the standard box. but you can also go for the Grimoire edition, which comes in like a magnetic book-like, novel-like Grimoire edition magnetic box, which looks really, really cool. So that's what I like about this campaign in particular, is that there are only two options. There is the standard box edition, and then there is like a fancy box edition. There isn't like a standard edition plus this expansion, or standard edition plus this other expansion. You know, they're putting the entire game in one sort of pledge, which I think is great, because there's a lot of campaigns out there. Well, I've done one recently, which I think has ended now, the Lavon Rising one, where you could pledge for the base game, but then if you want all the other cool stuff, you have to pledge for the base game plus this expansion, or the fire expansion, the ice expansion. Whereas this just comes all in one box, nice and easy, everything you need, all in one box, which is great. So as I mentioned there, you've got the Grimoire edition and the standard edition. So standard edition is about €70 or $83 estimate, and then you've got the Grimoire edition, which comes in the magnetic Grimoire box for €110 or $130. But yeah, that looks awesome. You've got the option there of just having a cooler version if you want, but if not, a box will be just fine. So yeah, that's really, really nice. And we've got a couple of component lists here. We've got potion cards and tuck box, quest cards, enemy cards, hourglass tokens, fear, fracture and poison tokens, teleportation portal standees, heroism tokens, wound tokens, threat markers, life markers, exhaustion markers, teleportation portal miniatures, which is a Grimoire exclusive. Then we've got the characters. Obviously, the Grimoire exclusives are the ones that are exclusive to the Grimoire. Sorry, it was confusing. But you've got the character models, which look quality. You got some hero tuck boxes, which is a Grimoire exclusive. The hero boards, chapter 1, 2, and 3, and obviously you got the double-sided location sheets, which is great. You got all those cards there. You got the Grimoire lore book. So if you want the lore book, you can get that as well. And you got the campaign notebook as well. So pictures obviously may differ from the actual product as the game is still in development, but obviously that is giving you some really, really good flavour and insight as to what you can come to expect. So that's really cool. So you've got the locations and the card size. So you've got these sort of standard 63 by 88 millimeter tiny little cards like this, which are used for the majority of your items and weapons and equipment and items and all that sort of thing. Then you've got slightly longer cards, which are more like sort of tarot style cards, or they might even be actual size, I don't know. But then you've also got the location cards as well. There, as you can see, you've got a sanctuary there. So you've got two ways you can go. You can go one way and go to card 29, or you can go the other way and go to card 28. So the way this is going to be laid out is going to be quite similar to if you've played Seventh Continent. It's probably going to be quite similar to that. And it's also going to be quite similar to Tainted Grail in the fact where you're going to have oversized location cards that do flip over, and you do if you walk towards on this particular example, you got the number 28 here. So if you choose to go this way, another card's going to pop up around here, which is going to be number 28. So I think the sense of discovery in these types of games is always something that's really, really cool. You flip little location cards as you travel from location to location, and I think that's really, really cool. Massive sense of discovery in these sort of games, which is what I like. Obviously, it tells you here what's in the Grimoire edition. So you got the lavish box. You got the components which can be stored in sturdy, dedicated boxes. You got translucent miniatures and invisible heroes for their clones, and you got the lore book, which is a must-read for anyone who's interested in Soul Reader's art and story. So that's quite cool that you can get that for an extra bit. And then you got the add-ons as well. So you can add these to your pledge if you want to later on, where you can get metal coins. So that's quite cool to replace your heroic tokens. You can get the lore book separately. You can get the extra Grimoire edition, so you can get an additional copy if you want, or you can get an extra standard edition. So again, you can add these on at the end if you want. And there's also a couple of videos from content creators. We got John Gets Games. Well, I think that's the only one that's on here. But on this channel here, John Gets Games, you can expect to see a how to play on the game. So if you're interested in all the flavour and stuff that I've covered, go and check out this channel. Obviously, they've got the sort of go ahead from the campaigns themselves to do a how to play introduction and tutorial playthrough. So go and have a look at those. I will go and have a look at those in a minute as well. So we've got the goal of the game here. To collect all of the required stars to achieve your main and secondary goals. But I think this is all going to be more sort of explained in more detail in the playthroughs, because these are just the mechanics. So you've got round of play, you've got preparation phase, so temporary spells end, players draw cards, heroes action phase, so you can then move and explore, you can fight, you can perform scripted actions, which I imagine will be on the location cards themselves. You can cast some powerful spells. And it tells you here the card value, the bonus type or spell icon, bonus or spell description. Again, I don't know what any of these do, but you can download the rules there if you want to read through the rules before you actually get the game, just so you can get an idea of what's going on. And then you've got the replay value as well. So because of the story-driven nature of the game, we have been asked about its longevity. So again, a question I would have asked earlier, and the replay value. So how many hours per chapter can you play the game again if you finished all 3 of them? Someone's saying. So Soul Raiders has been designed to be a highly replayable adventure with a strong narrative component. And due to its design, you can play the same chapter 10 times and never follow the same path. Not just because you want to unveil new secrets every time, but because each round is a unique puzzle that might lead you down a different road rather than the one you intended to take. So that's very, very good. Again, narrative, story-driven games do need to be... they need to be varied, otherwise, you're not really going to get that much for your money. So it's good that they've addressed that here in the campaign. So is the game about the story or the challenge? So both, but the challenge at the core of the game is experience, while the story is the frame from which the challenge emerges. So again, the story is very much encapsulating the challenge of the game. Every game session will be different, whether you already know some of the parts or story or not, which is very, very good. A chapter takes usually about 2 to 4 hours to complete, depending on the familiarity of the game and obviously the rhythm of your group. So that's cool. And we estimate that you will need at least 2 to 3 runs at it, one to explore and learn the concept of the setting, and others to optimise your path to the goals. Try different options and learn new aspects of the story, which brings us to 30 hours of game on average. So that's quite cool, for a $70, €70 pledge, 30 hours worth of gameplay. I think that's quite good. No, but this is just an estimate. When it comes to board gaming, every player has different expectations. Yeah, definitely, 100%. And then story lovers can spend dozens of hours to learn all the ins and outs of this quest. And then players looking for epic and thematic challenges will find in Soul Raiders a very strong replayability. So we hope that explanation is satisfactory. And you still have questions, we will be delighted to answer it during the campaign. So you can follow them on Board Game Geek, Trick Track, One for All on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So you got some characters here as well. You got the Soul Raiders. So you got the story of it there. You got Aneko, you got Zia, you got Adonis, and then you got Maida. So they've mastered the art of instinctive magic, bestowed on them through an ancient ritual. And as your hero, as the story unfolds, the hero's power increases. Heroism tokens can be earned from achieving goals, defeating enemies, revealing story cards, and these tokens can be spent to perform more actions in a single round or improve your deck permanently by unlocking new heroic actions. So you've got a bit of a deck building element in there as well, once you've leveling up your hero, which is nice. So that's cool. So you've got 40 unique locations. So that's interesting. Obviously, you can see there you've got 2 different very, very distinctive arts there. You've got the pit, which is like some overgrown foresty area. Then you've got the cult, which is some sort of inner city, dark sort of area. So that's cool. Chapter 1, the sanctuary. Look at all the different arts you can come to expect in the game. Chapter 2, the cult. More good stuff. And then the pit. So, you've got loads of different stuff you can do in here. All the enemies. Look at the art on the enemies. They look fantastic. Look at those. They look awesome, don't they? Got big, massive demons here. You got like a tiger, which has got like crystals on its back. You got ogre-looking things. These look quality. And you got stories. And you got some previews as well. So you got previews, some from the Dice Tower. So they're a reputable source. So go and check them out. and you've got more Rado. Rado runs through reviews, definitely a reputable source. So yeah, loads of people doing little impressions and first impressions of this particular game. I'm just doing very much the Kickstarter page, and you've even got French and other languages, German as well. And here are the stretch goals so far. So 50k done, it's funded. So you've got 4 new heroic action cards at 60k, more potion cards at 70k, 85k is improved card quality, 95k, 4 new heroic action cards, more potions at 105, 135k is the complete prologue. So that's an entire sort of module that you can play through just as a before the game actually starts, which is great. So that's good that we've unlocked those so far. But yeah, if this game interests you, definitely leave a comment in the section below. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. And you've got a couple of community goals there as well. So yeah, just make sure if you are on these platforms, sharing this around would be all good to help these guys achieve their goals. Well, they have achieved their goals already, but the more stuff, the more backers we get, the more extra stuff we get, which is good. And obviously we've got some shipping and taxes and all that sort of stuff. You've got the shipping costs depending on what zone you're in. Rewards, pricing and pledge manager. So all of this stuff will go to the pledge manager afterwards. So I think it's going to be game found or something similar. Yeah, I mean, it looks really, really cool. This game looks really, really cool. You've got a team sheet at the bottom here, people that have designed it, people that have the masterminds behind it. So yeah, it's just going to be, it looks like a really, really cool game. You've got a nice, awesome team there working behind the scenes to make this game good for you. So that is Soul Raiders. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I don't know. I think I'm probably going to back this. Although there are a lot of story games out there, but this one just looks really, really cool. Soul Raiders. What are your thoughts on it? Leave a comment in the section below. And yeah, we will see you on the next Tabletop Hype. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit a little bell notification if you want to be notified of any future videos. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.